Hello, and welcome to another episode of Money Ministry. I am your host, Craig Mack. And as you saw from the thumbnail, uh, was Donald Trump's post about UFOs and releasing those UFOs files, was it just him being random again? Or was he signaling his inside investors? Stay with me, and I'm going to show you why I think he was blowing the dog whistle to his investors. All right, but before I get started, let me first attempt to establish my credibility for those of you who are new to my channel and haven't been watching me. First of all, welcome. Thank you for joining me. Uh, my name is Craig Mack, and I've been investing for a number of years. Okay. And what I've done is I track my progress, my daily progress, and I try to be as transparent as I can so that I can have credibility with you with the information that I'm sharing. Before I go into that, let me make the attorneys and lawyers happy by saying that this information is for educational purposes only, and it is not meant to be financial advice that you are supposed to do your own research. However, I have created a number of videos in the playlist to show you how to do research and interpret the indicators so that you can make smart investment decisions. Okay, now that I got out the way, what you're looking at is my daily tracking of what my performance of my portfolio has been so far this month, the month of May, as of Friday the 8th. Okay. So far I've made $1,100. I don't share my portfolio, what I have in it, the stocks that I have in there. The reason being is that I'm trying to, as I mentioned before, educate you on how to invest and for you to make your own decisions, not just, get a shortcut and copy the stocks that I have. The idea is for you to learn how to pick stocks and make your own decisions. Only I'm providing you with some guidance of what I think are my opinions. These are my opinions and my opinions only. Okay, so this is what I've done in May so far. And then in April, you see I've made $4,000, 4,300 in April. And I don't know about anybody else, but I don't think anybody's savings account paid them that kind of money in 1 month. This content is designed for new investors, basically. People who 44% of Americans can't afford to handle a $1,000 financial emergency. Okay. Half of the country, less than 50% of the country, is invested in the stock market. The stock market is the greatest wealth generating mechanism ever created by mankind. Okay. And in order to do it, you have to participate in it. You can't win and without participating in it. And I show you how. Again, I've put content out there in the playlist to show you how to set up a brokerage account, how to find the money that you need to get invested. I've shown that you don't need a whole lot of money to get started, or you just need discipline and execution. That's it. And to pay yourself first. That's the key to it. Pay yourself first with your paycheck, or if you get a bonus or whatever, whenever you get some extra money, pay yourself first, put some in your brokerage account, and then follow along on how to invest. I don't show you $300 stocks to pick. When you can't afford to pay $1,000 for an emergency, no, I don't show you $300 stocks. That's ridiculous. I show you stocks that are on the rise or opportunities that are on the rise that you can take advantage of. Okay. So, with that, I'm going to go into further evidence of my performance. I'll go to the max. I converted my account over to Charles Schwab back in 2023. And since that time, I've got a 225% return on my money since November of 2023. Okay. I've outperformed the NASDAQ and the S&P combined since I've had my account over here at Schwab. Okay. For the past 3 months, I've got a 17%. I'm doing better than the NASDAQ and the S&P. Year to date, since January, I've got a 27% return on my money since the beginning of this year. Okay. All right. So enough of that. Now, getting back to what the thumbnail says, was it a signal to his investors? Well, first of all, let me go back a little bit and give you a little background. Everyone knows that I think next month, SpaceX is supposed to launch an IPO. It is going to be one of the largest IPOs in the history of the market. I think it's going to, be worth over $1 trillion coming out the chute. Okay. All right. So what smart money is going to be doing between now and when the IPO gets going is it's going to be positioning itself. Some people, some smart money, is going to stay on the sidelines, especially with the war going on and all that. They're going to take money and out, take some risk off, and sit on the sidelines and let it play out until the IPO starts. Some other smart money, the smarter money, is going to start looking for opportunities in the supply chain for SpaceX. In other words, who are the suppliers to make SpaceX go? That's where the smarter money is going to be going right now. Okay. All right. So one of the suppliers to SpaceX, and one of the reasons why Elon Musk has pushed to get SpaceX up and running is because of this company right here, Filtronic. Filtronic is located in the United Kingdom. They're not part of our stock market right now. Now you can buy it over the counter. You can buy it over the counter, but you have to pay like a $50 commission fee in order to do it. But what they have invented, they deal with radio frequency, okay, for satellites. And what they've come up with is a satellite or a beam that can increase the bandwidth of the information that is being beamed down to Earth. Okay, if you remember the old satellites, if you ever had Dish and all that, whenever there was bad weather, storm, whatever, lightning, whatever, interference that would cause the satellite to be interrupted, the beam to be interrupted. Well, these guys have come up with a way to make this frequency that's being beamed down from the satellite, it won't be affected by the weather. It'll still go. It won't be cutting off information, anything. It's going to come straight through without any interruption. Okay. That's the frequency. I think it's called an E-band frequency. That's what they've come up with. And Elon Musk has taken out like a 15% stake in the company and to be able to monopolize their product and have a piece of the company because he knows how important that's going to be. Okay, so what does that mean? That means that kind of information or that kind of technology can go into satellites in space that will now become data centers in space using solar energy to power them. So what did we solve? We solved the power, the energy problem with data centers that's been swelling. That's what it's going to solve, okay? And also the amount of compute. You hear Johnson Wong talking about, we need more bandwidth, we need more compute power. Well, this will solve that, okay? That solves that. Now, what is the thing, what, without this technology, SpaceX doesn't work. Now I'm going through these slides because I want you to read them. I'm not going to, I'll summarize some of them, but I want you to really get this down and get the concept down of what they do. Okay, E-band, solid state power amplifiers. All right, they're critical amplification layer enabling Starlink's inner satellite and satellite to ground links. Okay, this is what is going to power that stuff. Okay, they're amplifiers, high bandwidth, low ultra no, low ultra low latency. Okay, so there were no interruptions, no delays. The information is going to come with the quickness to the ground where it's going to be received. Okay, all right. Bridging bridging the digital divide. Now, here's the growth. Long-term partnership that he has signed with them. Okay, long-term growth. And you can stop these slides and you can read through them. I've put them out there so that you can read them. All right. Now, here's the other part. Let's give it a second to come up here. Okay. What is the material? Again, we're focusing on the supply chain. What is the material needed to power that kind of radio frequency that Filtronic has? Okay. It is called SiC and GaN. These are going to be your new semiconductors. So in other words, even though we had AI and they were using the traditional type of semiconductors with silicon and all of that has to be replaced now because it can't handle the energy that's coming through it, and they get too hot, and it can't handle the volume of data that it needs to go through to make the large language models, the LLMs, work to their full capability. These two, SiC and GaN accents, that solves that problem. So it gives the power and it gives the bandwidth that the new semiconductors for AI in space need, as well as the data centers that they're building here on Earth in these different states, is giving them the power and the bandwidth that they are going to need. Okay? So here's here's the slide I want you, the most important one. Excuse me. Here's the growth. SiC and GaN market. Okay? It has grown substantially. All right? Now, there are two companies that specialize in generating SiC and GaN, Infineon and Wolfspeed. Okay, Wolfspeed. Now, Wolfspeed, if I can get my thing to work right, Wolfspeed here. It's trading right now at $47.31. Okay, it went up $1.44, just reported, and the numbers that they reported weren't all that great, but the fact but it still went up $1.44, and so far after hours, so far it's showing that it's going to go up 71 cents. Here's the thing you have to understand about this particular company. It's new. Okay, it just got started back in October of 2025. All right, in April, you see the growth that is taking place. You see the growth that's taking place with it. All right, that's what's happened. Again, it's trading right now at $47.31. Without the materials that they produce, Starlink doesn't work. Filtronic, the beam that sends the information down, doesn't work. You need this material. Now, I've done some research on this material. This material gets confused with being a rare earth mineral. It is not a rare earth mineral. It's not. Okay? But people confuse it with that. So what's going to happen is people are going to start investing in rare earth metals or materials thinking that they're going to get a piece of this, and they're not. However, this GaN and SiC is made from the rare earth minerals. It's not considered a rare earth element. It is made from rare earth elements. So indirectly, you still can take advantage of that. All right. You still can get a piece of that. So that's how that's going to work. Let me get back to this presentation here. All right. Projected value. Now we're talking about the SiC and the GaN, okay, that's needed for these devices. It's projected. The cost is going to cause a 40% reduction. All right, reduction in what it takes to create a semiconductor. Now these two materials have been around for a while, for a long time, for years. However, they were so expensive to get the cost. You couldn't justify the cost for the usage because of the bandwidth that they provide and the energy. Now with AI and the demand for the bandwidth and the energy that you can use these materials for, now they're coming in vogue. Okay. Everybody wants to get their hands on it now. Okay. So it's supply and demand. When your demand goes up, all right, your price goes up. When your supply is not there, it goes up. All you've been hearing about in the market right now is supply chain issues, supply chain, and prices are going to go up. Look at oil. Well, what's going on over in Iran? You know, supply of oil has decreased. What's happened at the gas stations? The price of gas is skyrocketing. Same thing, same concept is applied to these materials. Okay, not that many companies make it. They're going to have to. They're going to make money. Their value is going to go up because the price of their material is going to go up. The price of the product that they sell is going to go up. All right. So uh, on semi revenue, 7.5 billion, 2027. Affordability trajectory suggests could match traditional silicon price by this medicine. So 2027 is going to go up. Okay, they're going to keep going up, and that's the long and short of it. Now, let me get back to the original issue with Trump or what he was signaling. There is a ETF out there that uh, will help or is going to be affected by this new technology that's coming out. Okay, because what else is going to be needed? You're going to need new antennas for to receive the signals on Earth from the satellites. You're going to need antennas on the satellites to be able to handle this kind of power and energy coming from that beam. And like I said, to receive the information on the ground to the data centers on the ground. NVIDIA is experimenting with having miniature data centers attached to houses. They're doing a test pilot, I think, over in California somewhere. All right. Where is that? Where is that information for that data center going to come from? It's going to come from space. Okay. So the reason why now I'm about to tie it all together. If you've been with me this long, I appreciate it. Here's where I'm going to tie it all together. Okay. Donald Trump signaled with his post. The ETF's name is UFO. UFO. This particular ETF has all of these satellite companies in it. Rocket Lab. These are what makes your aerospace and defense. Cable satellites. Iridium. This is also radar using satellites. Okay. Planet Labs. Research Consultant Services. All of these companies, all of them, and you see the returns on them. All of these companies are going to be impacted by this new technology that's coming out. Now, let's look at the return so far in 12 months. UFO, remember, Donald Trump mentioned that in his post. It's a dog whistle. UFO has a 104% return so far over the past 12 months. Ladies and gentlemen, this, if you want to take advantage of the new technology that's coming out at a cheap price, this is the ETF you want to get in. It is trading right now at $54.80 a share, and it's going to keep going. Projections for AI is that we're in the third inning, that it has at least a 7 to 10-year run still because it is still evolving. The infrastructure is still being built. The data centers that they started 2 years ago, some of them are just starting to get online, and they're building new ones right now. This is when you take advantage of the opportunity. And as you can see, $50 gets you into the game, period. That's what I'm trying to help you. $50. This is $47 for Wolf. UFO is $50. Okay. That's how you get into the game. That's how you get returns, and you can double your money and live comfortably for you and your family. Now, this is where I'm going to stop and take a pause because I want to make sure that I get this out. This is a book that I've written. It's called Get Good at Money. Get Good at Money, A Beginner's Guide to Investing. It will be coming out very soon. So I'm asking you to like and subscribe now so that when I make the announcement when it'll be available on Amazon and Barnes and Noble and also as an ebook on Amazon, you will be notified so that you can get it. It is designed for those who feel overwhelmed by trying to learn about the market, who are interested in getting into the market, and would like to get more information on how to get started and how to get better. There's no charts or graphs in here. This is conversational. This is written at a high school level. If you graduated from high school, you'll be able to understand the concepts that I have in this book. Okay? So I will make an announcement when it'll become available so that you can have it. All right? Okay. So that's what I have right now. I try to keep this at around 15 minutes because the analytics say that you guys, people tend to go away after 15 minutes. So hopefully I've lasted that, hit that mark. So I will have more information for you to share with you regarding portfolio management in the next episode or two. But for now, I hope you found this information helpful and that you share it with someone who is interested in learning how to make their money work for them. Have a good evening. I'm your host, Craig Mack, and this has been another episode of Money Ministry. Have a good evening.